Imagine this. A bright, ambitious 25-year-old fresh out of college walks into his boss's office. It's bonus day, and his heart is racing. The figure flashes on the screen. $5 million. This wasn't a Silicon Valley startup, but Enron. How did this $60 billion company crumble into bankruptcy in just 3 months? Buckle up because we're diving deep into the world of corporate deceit. A trio of ruthless executives built a house of cards that came crashing down. Investors and employees were left in ruins. The Enron story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most successful companies can be brought down by unethical behavior. It's a story that exposes the dark side of the American dream, where the pursuit of profit at any cost can lead to disastrous results. Driven by greed, Enron's executives created a culture of fear and silence. This is a story about the failure of regulatory oversight that resonates today in a world grappling with financial crises and corporate scandals. Our story begins with Kenneth Lay, the man who would become Enron's charismatic yet ultimately disgraced leader. Born in 1942 in a small town in Missouri, Lay's early life was marked by both hardship and ambition. He excelled in school, earning a PhD in economics from the University of Houston by the age of 28. Lay's early career was a testament to his ambition and talent. He served as a naval officer analyzing finances for the Pentagon before diving into the world of energy regulation. This experience would prove invaluable as he transitioned from government to the private sector, setting the stage for his meteoric rise in the energy industry. In 1985, Kenneth Lay orchestrated the merger of Houston Natural Gas and Internorth, creating Enron. Lay's ambition propelled him to the top within months. He transformed Enron into a global energy trading powerhouse. Lay capitalized on energy market deregulation. He believed a free market for natural gas could unlock vast profits. During Enron's early years, Lay focused on growing the company through strategic acquisitions and aggressive lobbying efforts. He cultivated close ties with politicians, including George W. Bush, who called him Kenny Boy. These connections gave Lay significant influence in Washington, allowing him to shape energy policy in Enron's favor. However, beneath the surface, a darker side was emerging. Lay's ambition morphed into a relentless pursuit of profit. He ignored questionable accounting practices and risky trading strategies, setting the stage for the massive fraud that would bring down Enron and tarnish his legacy. By the late 1980s, Enron, under Lay's leadership, had established itself as a major player in the natural gas industry. Lay sought to transform Enron from a traditional energy company into a Wall Street darling. To achieve this, Lay needed a financial wizard, someone who could make Enron's numbers dance to the tune of Wall Street's expectations. Enter Jeffrey Skilling, a Harvard MBA and former McKinsey consultant, who joined Enron in 1990. Skilling brought with him a revolutionary idea: mark-to-market accounting. However, in the hands of Enron's increasingly audacious executives, mark-to-market accounting became a tool for unprecedented financial manipulation. With mark-to-market accounting, Enron's executives, led by Skilling, inflated profits to impress Wall Street. They booked projected profits from complex, long-term deals as current income. This created the illusion of growth, sending Enron's stock price soaring. But many projects were questionable or outright failures. These failures drained cash reserves while books showed profitability. The consequences of Enron's reckless accounting were devastating. It created a culture of greed and deception, prioritizing short-term profits over ethics. Investor trust eroded, leading to a loss of billions when Enron's truth was revealed. It triggered regulatory reforms, including the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. Enron's story is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked corporate greed. With mark-to-market accounting providing a convenient smokescreen, Jeffrey Skilling, now firmly established as Lay's right-hand man, turned his attention to Enron's corporate culture. Skilling thrived on competition and risk, creating a workplace that mirrored his aggressive personality. He envisioned a team of ruthless, highly driven individuals, all vying for a piece of the Enron pie. Skilling's philosophy was survival of the fittest. He implemented a brutal performance review system, where the bottom 10 to 15% were routinely fired. This created a cutthroat environment where employees were pitted against each other, constantly looking over their shoulders. While the rank and yank system instilled fear and insecurity among Enron's workforce, Skilling balanced it with financial incentives. Enron became known for its lavish bonuses and extravagant perks, with top performers raking in millions. This created a powerful incentive to focus solely on profits. Skilling cultivated an image of a visionary leader, a maverick who defied convention. He encouraged his employees to embrace risk and to think outside the box. They bought into Skilling's vision, believing they were part of something special. However, this culture of greed and ambition came at a steep price. Enron's employees, blinded by the promise of wealth and fearful of losing their jobs, became increasingly willing to compromise their ethics. They turned a blind eye to questionable accounting practices, ignored warning signs of financial irregularities, and silenced their own doubts. The Wolfpack mentality created a toxic environment where loyalty to the company and its leadership trumped all other considerations. This unwavering loyalty would prove to be Enron's undoing, as it allowed the company's fraudulent activities to continue unchecked for years, ultimately leading to its spectacular collapse. While Skilling was inflating Enron's profits on paper, he needed someone behind the scenes. Enter Andrew Fastow, Enron's chief financial officer, who preferred to operate in the shadows. A master puppeteer pulling the strings of Enron's financial statements. Fastow was a whiz kid in complex financial transactions. He exploited loopholes and bent the rules to his advantage. Fastow's weapon of choice was the Special Purpose Entity, or SPE. SPEs were shell companies created by Enron to keep debt and risky assets off its balance sheet. Enron would transfer assets to an SPE, which would then borrow money to finance the purchase. These loans and debt wouldn't appear on Enron's books, creating the illusion of a strong financial position. Fastow often managed these SPEs, enriching himself through fees and kickbacks. Through a complex web of SPEs and other off-the-books transactions, Fastow and his team managed to hide billions of dollars in debt and losses from investors and regulators. This allowed Enron to maintain its investment-grade credit rating, borrow money at favorable rates, and continue its rapid expansion. It was a house of cards, precariously balanced on a foundation of debt and deception. The problem with such schemes is that they're inherently unsustainable. As Enron's debt burden grew, so too did the risk of exposure. It was only a matter of time before the weight of these hidden liabilities would come crashing down, bringing Enron's empire of illusion crumbling down with it. As the year 2000 dawned, Enron's web of deceit was starting to unravel. Desperate for a win, Jeffrey Skilling set his sights on California's deregulated electricity market. California was brimming with innovation and economic prosperity, but this rapid growth strained the state's energy grid to its limits. Enron, with its vast energy trading operation, saw California's deregulation as a chance to exploit a system ripe for manipulation. Enron's traders quickly learned how to game California's newly deregulated market. They created artificial shortages by shutting down power plants during peak demand. The consequences were swift and devastating for California businesses and residents. The consequences of Enron's manipulation were swift and devastating. California's electricity prices soared, at times increasing by as much as 800%. Rolling blackouts became a regular occurrence, plunging homes and businesses into darkness, disrupting lives and costing the state billions of dollars in lost productivity. The public outcry was deafening as Californians struggling to pay their exorbitant energy bills demanded answers and accountability. Enron, initially dismissive of the accusations, found itself at the center of a media firestorm. The walls were closing in on Enron, and the company's carefully constructed facade of success was about to crumble. The California energy crisis, while immensely profitable for Enron, proved to be the company's undoing. Public outrage, fueled by media investigations, could not be ignored. Politicians launched investigations into Enron's trading practices. The SEC opened a formal inquiry into Enron's accounting practices. Inside Enron, the mood shifted from confidence to fear. Employees scrambled to protect themselves as the walls closed in. Skilling resigned in August 2001, citing personal reasons. His departure sent shockwaves through Wall Street. The reckoning. With Skilling gone and the SEC investigation looming, Kenneth Lay returned to try and salvage the company. But it was too late. The house of cards was collapsing. In October 2001, Enron announced a massive loss. This was followed by the revelation of overstated profits and hidden debt. The markets reacted swiftly and brutally. Enron's stock price plummeted to less than $1. On December 2nd, 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy. The fallout. The collapse of Enron triggered lawsuits, criminal investigations, and regulatory reforms. The Justice Department charged Lay, Skilling, Fastow, and other executives with fraud and conspiracy. Arthur Anderson, Enron's auditor, was convicted of obstruction of justice for shredding documents. The scandal led to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, strengthening accounting regulations. the human cost. Beyond financial ruin, the Enron scandal left shattered lives and eroded trust. Thousands of employees lost everything. Many had invested their life savings. The scandal tarnished reputations of analysts and politicians alike. It serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked corporate greed and the fragility of trust. The Enron Legacy, a Cautionary Tale. The Enron Saga, a tale of ambition gone astray, greed run rampant, and a system that failed to protect the innocent. It exposed the dark underbelly of the American dream, where the pursuit of profit at any cost can lead to moral bankruptcy. The collapse of Enron triggered much-needed reforms in corporate governance and accounting practices. It shattered the illusion of invincibility that had surrounded corporate America. It highlighted the critical role of whistleblowers in holding corporations accountable. The Enron story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful institutions are not immune to greed. It compels us to ask hard questions about the values that drive our economic system and the role of government in safeguarding the interests of the many.